Let's welcome back to the show House Oversight Ranking Member. He is Congressman James Comer. Congressman, it's great to see you. Okay, so I guess you saw this headline. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi approves for herself, her home district, $200 million in pork for a park in her San Francisco district. This is in the Democrats' massive $3.5 trillion budget resolution. What do you say to this?
Well, this is more bad government by Nancy Pelosi. I mean, the Democrats want to keep spending money we don't have, money we're borrowing from China, money we're printing, which is leading to inflation. Any Democrat who votes for this budget reconciliation fund will be voting for another San Francisco slush fund for Nancy Pelosi. This $200 million goes to a park, Presidio Trust, that's managed by Presidio Trust, which claims on their website that they don't take taxpayer money, that it's all operated without taxpayer money. So $200 million is a fifth of $1 billion, and it's just more pork that Nancy Pelosi's putting in the budget. The Democrats, I hope they don't keep going along and blindly following her off a cliff, because that's what they're doing.
Why does a park need $200 million?
That's a great question. That's something that we should have already debated, but the Democrats don't want to debate this bill. We've had markups in the Oversight Committee. We're going to have a markup in the Education Committee next week. Each committee has a little bit of jurisdiction on this budget reconciliation bill, but they won't let any Republicans file amendments. You know, we'll have amendments filed to strip the $200 million, and the Democrats will rule it out of order, or they will either just vote against the Republican amendments. We had several amendments to save millions and billions of dollars, but the Democrats, they just want to keep spending money.
Okay, let's talk just person to person here. What happens to somebody when they walk into power in Congress? I mean, so the Democrats are focusing just on massive pork spending. They're not focusing on rescuing Americans in Afghanistan. They're not talking about, drought and wildfires and how, I know they're talking about climate change. We're talking about people on the ground who have to deal with their policy choices day to day. What happens to people when they walk into the halls of power and do not talk about the 13 troops who are dead, the Americans who are still stranded behind terror lines, the civs and the green card holders, our Afghan allies stranded behind terror lines, our NATO allies, their people stranded behind terror lines? Nancy Pelosi put out a statement, said this is a tragedy what happened with the 13 troops, not calling the House back in, won't talk about it anymore, changing the headlines, only talking about spending. What happens to somebody when they walk into the halls of power and she was big on talking about leading by example. Is this leading by example? What happens to somebody when they step into office like this?
Well, I can tell you, if the Republicans were in power and we had a Speaker of the House that was behaving this badly, this disrespectful to our troops, this disrespectful to the American taxpayers, there would be a revolt. That's why you had the creation of the Freedom Caucus and other caucuses and splinter groups in the Republican Party. Republicans are more democratic than Democrats. Democrats are almost being ruled by a dictator here at Pelosi. Pelosi's pulling the strings for Joe Biden as well. So Pelosi's going to get her $200 million for her part. No telling what else is in that budget reconciliation bill. We're still digging, trying to see what's in there, because they won't have true committee hearings to talk about the budget process, and they don't allow Republican amendments. So it's just very disappointing to see so many Democrats in Congress be followers to a person like Nancy Pelosi.
Got it. Okay, we're going to stay on it with you, and we'll have you back on, Congressman James Comer. We'll continue to cover the story. It's good to have you on.